Yo, what's going on, people? What's going on, people? Patris back. Rodney, Errol. What's the name of our crew?
94 feet raw.
94 feet raw. Back at you. Talking about NBA. Hopefully check that out podcast where we talk about the Bucks, we talk about Minnesota Timberwolves, but now we're talking about the team everyone talks about. Cleveland Cavaliers.
The beast in the East.
So, fellas. So, I guess we just start with, does Cleveland make it back to the finals for a fourth time? Or, with all the trade news, Kyrie leaving or not leaving, LeBron going or not going, what really is Cleveland's season going to be like? Sorry.
Listen, if the team stays as presently constructed, I personally can't see anyone in the East taking them out. You know, if the trade still goes ahead, which I think it will, I don't think both teams will mess around with the deal that they got. I think it was quite a good deal for both teams. Who's going to take them in the East? Who's going to take them in the East? No. The only thing that's going to stop them is injury. There's no team,
But even so,
in the East that's going to take them out.
but even so with injury, unless it's a season-ending injury, they can get to the playoffs and they can do what they need to do. I don't see LeBron not getting to the NBA Finals.
I'm talking about injury to one player, to LeBron James.
But that's, I'm not going to look at it like that.
That's like every season, though.
It's like every player, every marquee player, and everything else like that.
No, every marquee player.
No, okay, so
My point being is that they can withstand injury to other key players, and they've proved it. They've had Kevin Love out, they've had Kyrie Irving out. He still took them to the finals. Still made it competitive in the final series. You understand? So, barring a long-term injury to LeBron, and he hasn't given us any cause to worry about that over the course of the years. No.
But do you really think that LeBron without Kyrie can really make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the NBA Finals? Because since he's returned back to Cleveland, Irving's been there.
Yeah, the reason why I think that is with the trade of Isaiah, along with the pickup of Jeff Green and Jay Crowder, the old guys of Calderon and Rose, there's enough in them players to give what they lose with Kyrie. There's enough in them, and they can play. And I think honestly, with those players, they can match up a lot better with the bigs.
You just say Calderon and Rose.
Squad, they're coming off the bench.
Yeah, we forget about Isaiah Thomas. That's the first person you should be talking about.
I'm not worried about Isaiah, but right now, them guys are going to start the season because if Isaiah stays there, he's out until then. But as I said, with the pickups and I did forget Mr. Isaiah Thomas. With those guys, I do see them easily getting back to the final. I think their teams on paper right now, barring trades and more trades with what's happened, they're in a situation where they can match up and match up against small ball teams.
You know what?
So, they can win the games in the West,
and
they can definitely win the games in the East. So, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I think they are the top team in the East, and their roster, actually looking at it, is kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? Given that if Isaiah Thomas does play for them as well, you know what I mean? They've got Jeff Green off the bench, he's no slouch. You know what I mean? They still got Kyle Korver, could knock down those threes. Kevin Love, we know he can do what he can do. Derrick Rose, averaging almost 20 points last season. You know what I mean? They're still stacked. But I think it's just, as I was saying, I think LeBron is such an emotional kind of influence over his team. So if he's up, the team's up. If he's down, the team effectively is down. You know what I mean? And all this and that's when they're talking about this whole trade thing. Kyrie Irving, man, LeBron's going to be a professional, but ultimately he hasn't got that Dwayne Wade he can connect with. Who's he going to connect with?
But wait,
Isaiah Thomas was noted for talking smack about LeBron, about 5 years ago, saying LeBron's whatever.
What? This Isaiah Thomas?
Isaiah Thomas.
No, I heard about that. Basically, a comment was made 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
And they brought it back. Someone brought it back out. out of the dungeons about that. Like, and this is, you know, you could say, people are scared about what you say. So I think that statement there had nothing to do with LeBron being, I'm going to see him next week and say that. That is a young guard that was at college, I think, still.
And still kind of...
And commenting about an NBA
What was the comment that he made?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
We have to look it up.
We have to,
but it was basically saying he hasn't got that... It's kind of like he hasn't got a Kobe killer instinct.
Something about Kobe and him, but let's be honest. I can't really take that on, and he's going to look at him and say that. Look, a positive for the team right now, if LeBron does sit out more games, I think with the bringing in of Jay Crowder, Jeff Green and Isaiah, those guys can play basketball without having LeBron to be the man that they have to go through.
Yeah.
Because they're used to playing basketball themselves in other teams, in other environments, just like Rose, just like all the other players that are coming in this year. They're used to playing basketball and executing as a team. Can the team without LeBron on the floor, or taking it out for the night, can that team sustain a decent standard? They kind of clicked towards the end of last year.
I mean, I think they're better than last year, so...
But I think they're slightly better squad-wise. Not individual, you know, like you've lost Kyrie and someone's going to pick Kyrie. But if you compare squad and you keep on going down, this squad has got a more of a small ball type of a field squad to it, where you've got 6'8", 6'9" perimeter players and a couple of post players. Whereas that's what they're going to come up against on the West. I mean, you know, the odds already been paid out for Golden State to get to the finals, barring injuries again. But this team matches up slightly better, just with Jay Crowder and Jeff Green in the squad. Whether or not they turn out to be the Premier players that they once were, or they might take that Darren Williams secluded role, that's a separate issue.
You know what? It's funny, man, because I remember, you gave me that, was it that Bill Simmons book? Where it said about basketball, how basketball is not about basketball. It's about all the other intangibles that make a team. And even though Cleveland on paper looks like they're stacked up, I just think it's about connection. And I'm just trying to find out who LeBron is connected to. We all know he's got his deal where potentially he could go anywhere next season. So right now, is he going to be in that connective kind of mode where he's thinking, I want to do this for Cleveland? You know what I mean? Because he's already won a championship for Cleveland. He's been there 3 times. But what's he going to do next?
I don't think you can question LeBron's motivation. I don't think... You look over the last 14 years of his career, has he started a season and not been highly motivated from the beginning? You understand? You asked the question at the beginning.
Okay.
You asked the question at the beginning, are they going to make the finals? And my answer is yes. Whether they're going to be better than last year, that's a separate question. You understand? I think they can still make the finals and not be as good as last year's team. But whether or not they're going to be as good as last year, that's a whole other question. And that's what you're talking about. You've got to see the whole dynamics of the team. You've got to see the impact of Isaiah over Kyrie. The other guys were slotting fine. But yeah, it's a fair point. How is the chemistry of the team gonna affect them going forward? Because what you end up having a lot of the time is like an implosion in teams. You understand? Just like you said, when LeBron's high and he's motivated, his teams churn on. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a diva, man. A bit of a diva. He's very much a diva. And when his mood is not up there, yeah, he can be a little, little crybaby at times, man, and bring everybody else down.
Yeah.
You know? But based upon results, 7 years in a row, his teams have gone to the finals, man. You're gonna bet against this man? You serious?
Yeah.
You gonna bet against LeBron?
It's gonna be 8. It's gonna be 8.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of in agreement with both of you. You know what I mean? I agree, Cleveland, there's no one really stopping Cleveland on the East from reaching the Eastern Conference Finals at least. Whether they win it, the whole thing, we live to see. But, I don't know, man. I'm kind of in two minds at the same time. Part of me thinks some kind of either Shumpert's going to get traded or...
They are not finished yet.
Trade part's a separate issue. I think there's going to be but as at this point in time, just before the season, before we leave August, the month of August, the trade is going through. So we're looking at these rosters as if the trade has gone through, without any additional players as it is right now.
But even so, I'm looking at it, and I look at this team, and you think great on paper, not too dissimilar was from last season, but they're missing one key factor, Kyrie. And you know, when it comes down to it, to the Celtics games, Kyrie just took over. LeBron was almost nowhere to be seen sometimes. You know what I mean? Kyrie just took over. Who on this list is going to take over, apart from Isaiah Thomas? And they're going to be worried about him on the defensive end, so you probably won't even have that chance to kind of take over.
No, he'll have the opportunity to take over.
Yeah.
But yeah, is he going to give up as much as he gives?
This is it, man.
You know?
And
but,
teams will,
you know,
smart teams
Boston had better defense than Cleveland last year. You know, he played against him, so he knows what his weaknesses are. They all know what their weaknesses are. But yet, they were still able to get the best record in the West when he was at Boston. At the point, I thought he came off the bet. I thought, but at the point, they were still won the most games in the East. Okay, they finished first, but everyone kind of know who the best team in the East was. But they still won games. So the regular season is one thing, and then the playoffs is another thing. So with him at the point at Boston, they won enough games to be the number one team in the East.
Yeah, of course.
So they've got enough to get there. Now, come playoffs, that's a different thing.
I'm just,
When you talk about their bench as well and how they're going to step up, a lot of it's dependent upon the type of system Tyronn Lue puts in there, man. Because a lot of this stuff was just pick and roll Kyrie, pick and roll LeBron all day long. You understand?
Sorry to cut you, bro, but that's almost my point. It's almost Kyrie is almost is a dummy, man, for LeBron. You know what I mean? And now, because look how they got Tyronn Lue in the first place. Because David Blatt, they didn't have a vibe with him, even though they had the best record in the league. They didn't have a vibe with him in the locker room. So I'm just kind of like, this is LeBron's team, man. If LeBron is up or down or decides to do this, do that, the whole team
but that's
I hear what you're saying.
talking about on the intangible parts. I'm just talking technically in terms of the system they run.
Okay.
You understand? And that's one of the things that I think Kyrie, you may see an improvement in his game based upon
the team, the personnel he's got around him,
and the system that Brad Stevens runs in Boston, man. They run a very good system, man. And Cleveland at the moment, just like you said, one of the reasons Black was got rid of partly was because of the strength of LeBron's personality. Another thing was, remember when he came in, he wanted to implement the principal offense. You understand?
And that old team
they weren't having it. They weren't having it. LeBron weren't having it. No. They were like, I'm running my game. I'm running pick. Next minute he's gone. You understand? Yeah. And if you look at how they've been running it, it's been LeBron, dominating the ball, pick and roll. Kyrie doing his thing. But what did they have when those two guys were in the game?
Where there was what motion type of movement offense did they have? Did they push the ball? Did they do anything? They didn't do that. They didn't play that style of ball.
They got a lot of specialists as well, man. If you look down the list
and look at the age.
And look at their ages, man. They've got a short shelf life, man. They ain't got too much time, man. Obviously, they got this pick if the trade goes through, and they will bring in some young talent, man. But Kyle Korver's a specialist, and J.R. Smith, Shumpert, Shannon Fry, Calderon. It'll be interesting to see what Derrick Rose brings to this party, see what he's got left. I don't know, man. I don't know how I'm very confident that they'll figure something out to be the dominant team in the East, or at least get to the final, but the pieces so far seem a little bit of a mismatch. We'll see.
But Patris did bring up an interesting point, because I felt last season Cleveland could have done better with brought Derek Williams in a bit more and other bits and pieces, and played him in certain formations, played him in certain times of the thing, which they didn't. They shortened their rotation. They had certain things, but there was, but they had that trust during the season.
Williams could have done some work in the playoffs, man.
But he didn't play. So for me, another element that is that how are they going to play? Right about now, that's a very large roster. And there'll be a lot of upset people in that roster if they play the same way they played before.
Derrick Williams is not there anymore.
Derrick Williams and Derrick Williams.
Derrick Williams, yeah, they're not there.
They're not there anymore. But even so, that's still a lot of players. There's only going to be 7 to 9 players playing in the whole thing.
Isaiah's not going to start the season.
Dante's not there.
Even that. So let's say they start off really well. Let's say Derrick Rose begins the season as point guard with Calderon as backup, how does that upset the chemistry if they're playing really well at the start of the season and Isaiah comes in? They're going to start him. They're going to play him off the bench.
I think.
To be honest, his role might be better coming off the bench. You understand? For a spark plug.
You know,
I thought when he was at Boston initially, I thought that was his that's the position they brought him out to do.
Yeah.
I thought he brought that spark because when he was at Phoenix
and Sacramento,
he come off the bench doing them things.
Yeah, totally.
So for me, I'm looking at that as being okay. If he comes in and provides that spark, him, I don't know, it might be J.R. Smith and or Shumpert or someone else like that. It could be another little thing like that as well. So that's another thing to look into.
Okay.
But I see them finish. I see them going through to if everything works out, and as they are, me myself, I see them representing the East in the conference finals.
I mean,
in the NBA finals. So
yeah. No, I mean it's easy one, isn't it? I mean Cleveland. If you got LeBron James, you're there, man. Virtually. He's done so much by himself anyway.
With a talented team around him.
But
and as it stands, he's got a talented team around him.
It is, but it's that factor where defensively they're quite slow because they're quite old, they can't keep up. But then there's also, just like I mentioned earlier, the chemistry issues, and there's also just the kind of disruption of the whole, is he going to leave? You know what I mean? So I'll say to you guys, is it worth LeBron leaving Cleveland, or is it worth him staying? Regardless of what happens this season.
That's a whole other question, man. If they win the championship, why leave?
But that's the whole point, though. I mean, end of the day, can Cleveland afford to keep him? Should they keep him? Does he really want to stay because he's such a business mogul now, and he's probably have better business ventures outside of Cleveland?
33 million a year. I don't think, and this is a figure as well when they start talking about finances. NBA salary capped. Durant signed a 10-year deal with Nike for how much? I think it was 30 million a year, 300 million. Players are signing deals that eclipse their shoe contracts. It's a very rare. Only the marquee players end up, getting that things there. And LeBron's got ventures, businesses, careers, and things like that all over the place. Money to keep him is not an issue. When you're LeBron, money is not keeping you one place. It's desire to win, achieve, and do other bits and pieces. And that's how I look at that. I don't look at it as anything else. He's going to get the most money wherever he goes. But it's what his desire is and what other tangibles, what is he working on outside of the game and other bits and pieces. They're the things that I think.
Looking how their team will change over the course of next season. Yeah? Let's say they don't win. Let's say Isaiah's healthy, but they don't win. Then the question is, are you going to re-up Isaiah
for that max contract?
For the, what do you say, the Brinks Mac truck?
Yeah.
Bringing that in, is you going to pay him all that money? Depending on how he performs, but then you're going to go forward, what's he, 29?
28,
28, he's going to turn 29 soon. You have him for, you signed him for a 4 or 5 year deal,
But again,
5'9" guards don't age well historically, He's a hell of a player, but we know his limitations.
And athletically, and everyone, I heard someone say it and I can only honestly agree with it. Athletically for him, he's not going to get up and dunk on you. But he's athletic, he's that quick step. That ability to beat his man, absorb that contact and make that floater in the lane.
Yeah, now he's a baller, man.
I'm not denying his ability, but my father time is undefeated, and our abilities as we get older change. Our game changes as you get older. Everybody does it. But he's explosive because he doesn't attack. He attacks the basket in a way which is like, I get in the air and I can make my shots. But he's never going to get to the rim and dunk on somebody, or he's never going to he can go to the rim and make some layups if he's in motion, if everybody else is moving, because that's a great way that Boston used it. But, as everyone brings up, 4 years' time, is Isaiah going to be that player that's going to take 30 minutes a game, going to be pounding it in and doing all the other bits and pieces?
And if you're paying him as your second best player, is that going to be good enough?
And
that's the question,
LeBron is 32.
Or you don't do that, and then you don't re-sign him, and you have cap room to bring someone else in. LeBron's there, people might want to come play. And we ain't even talked about the fact that you might be getting Dwayne Wade on a buyout coming in. That might be too much, man. Where would he come in?
Yes.
They've been talking about Shumpert possibly being traded.
Yeah.
There's not many spots as far as the chemistry. It'd be interesting to see how Cleveland season,
how they trim the fat.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. How they trim the fat, how they get the rotation down. I'll say this in closing: LeBron does very well understanding that the season's very much a process. He very much understands you got to pace yourself. The old analogy of a marathon, not a sprint. And he's very much cognizant of getting the team to blend in and buy into the ethos and understand that the whole team identity is built over a period of time.
But
Very good at that, man.
But also he understands people's games, and he applies that logic to his
Exactly,
game.
man.
Yeah,
I'll
you
say-
know. Last season I heard him talk about Kyle Korver and how Kyle Korver likes to catch the ball with the seam showing.
Absolutely.
So he's making a conscious effort to make a pass to Kyle Korver, so that when he catches the ball, all he has to do is shoot it. He doesn't have to look at it and adjust it to make sure the seams are in the right place. So that's the type of detail he plays about the game. That's why everyone respects his
Don't
basketball
forget,
IQ.
man, we're dealing with a genius. I don't care whether or not he ain't got the killer instinct like Mike and Kobe.
He's not Mike or
That's-
Kobe.
He's not Mike or Kobe. And it's true, he ain't that type of player. But I tell you what, this guy's a genius in the game of basketball, man. He knows a lot more than me, he used to, and his coaches. He does. He's a genius, man.
He's a step ahead, man.
You
Step
understand?
ahead.
So,
Good props.
and he's taking his team, whether or not you consider the East to be diluted, he's taking his team to the finals.
And the reason why the East has been diluted
Years, 7 years straight or 6 years straight?
7.
7 years straight.
He's
8
scared.
overall.
Look,
Yeah.
imagine this.
3 for 5.
Atlanta.
Crazy.
Atlanta had a
7
great.
years straight.
Atlanta had a great team. Where are all their marquee players gone now? One of them's
West.
gone west. Yeah. The other one's gone to a powerhouse team, but I don't think he's going to do great there. Horford.
Yeah.
But we wait and see. We wait and see how Boston's going to do with their things.
Cool. And Bill said.
Yeah. Alright, man. Alright, that's the Cavs. And that.
Cavs.
Alright, next we're going to talk Boston Celtics, but we'll come back in a minute. Peace.
Peace.
Peace, peace.
Yo, bye.